I'm Robin Wilson, lead singer of Jim Blossoms, and you are switching to Glide on Rock On Radio.
Well, hello, producer Claire.
Hello.
We have returned to the two-track studios of Deco Entertainment.
We have.
Here in the hinterlands
Of New Jersey.
on another stormy night.
I know. What is it? It's like, it's almost epidemic.
Ain't there a horror movie or something that started? It was a dark and stormy night.
Yeah, Snoopy.
Snoopy?
Snoopy.
Snoopy's not a horror movie.
No, Snoopy would start every one of his stories. It was a dark and stormy night.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Ah, well.
You mean I knew
am
a
an old
cartoon
dog.
more than you?
Yeah, you taught an
Wow.
old dog new tricks. Look at that.
Wow.
Amazing.
When cartoons are your speciality.
Oh, gosh. I'm loving it. All these old Looney Tunes are popping up on my news feed.
Because you keep sharing them out. It's like your
I
algorithm
love
has
it.
shifted.
Frickin' rabbit. Classic.
Very
Classic.
good. And they were hard to find for many years. So.
Yeah, they were. I'm glad somebody's putting them out there. Welcome to Rock On Radio. I am your host, Danny Coleman. Producer Claire is here with me. And yes, we are back at the two-track studios of Deco Entertainment. Tonight, we have a guest. I'm holding back calling him Sybil because he's got two different personalities. And we'll hear about him shortly. But Rock On Radio is brought to you by O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey, on Route 537, otherwise known as Monmouth Road. They are the official caterers of Rock On Radio. Phoenix Art Supply and Framing. They are located in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, on Route 611, otherwise known as Southeastern Road.
Avenue.
The Schaefer's.
Southeastern Avenue.
Oh, it's Avenue? I thought it was Road. You've been letting me say that wrong for
Have you?
like the last
I just happened to look at
7 months?
Probably. Easton Road is in New Brunswick.
All right, Google it, people. Southeastern, Eastern.
I'll look it up.
Okay, anyway.
Southeastern.
Phoenix Art Supply and Framing, providing quality art supplies and framing for the Doylestown, Pennsylvania area and beyond for more than 40 years. Lillipis of Princeton. They are at what?
It is Road.
Okay.
I must have copied it over wrong. I just did a new list. That's why I was verifying my list. So let me change that.
Okay.
Easton Ave is in New Brunswick. Easton Ave is in New Brunswick. Eastern Road is in Doylestown.
Thank you for that. I'm not as old as people think I am.
Not even as old as I think you are.
That's true. Very true. Lillipis of Princeton. They are located at 301 North Harrison Street inside the Princeton Shopping Center. And Jen bakes lots of fantastic things, and I eat them. I am glad that I limit my trips to Lillipis. Otherwise, I would be 400 pounds heavier than I already am.
It is a nice place to go, though.
Yeah.
Actually, she just redid
Although
it.
I am kind of hankering for some sourdough bread. I may have
Are you
to make a
overdue?
return trip.
It's about the time. It's about time.
Sorry. Lillipis of Princeton. The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. The Zemlarian has sent me on a mission that I have to complete involving the Big A show.
I see.
So I got to get to that probably sometime this week. But she is on vacation.
Nice.
and-
Hey, she told me she was going to take me on vacation with her just so I could be her, like
Well,
photographer.
And apparently the blind squirrel complained about the MC at the Big A show, which I found not only offensive but unacceptable.
And you know it's not true. Blind squirrel, just think of it as BS. So.
BS from the blind squirrel. I was the MC at the Big A show. at Monmouth
He's
University.
just being
but
facetious, I think.
I don't know. Off with his head. But anyway, Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation, August 23rd. That is coming up
Saturday.
quickly.
Yeah.
We, once again, will take to the stage to MC the Long Branch Jazz and Blues Festival, which begins at like noon, I think.
Usually
right?
does.
Usually right around noon
Noon
with the
or
national
1.
anthem.
I think we get down there
Yep.
by that time.
So, yes, we will be doing that. Go to jsjbf.org and see what the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation are up to. New Jersey Stage Magazine. Go to newjerseystage.com for all of the arts and entertainment you can even imagine or ever imagine in the Garden State and beyond. Gary, also, that's where this show is being aired as well.
That's right.
It's on the penguinrocks.com. You go to newjerseystage.com. Click on radio shows, scroll down to see Rock on Radio or any of the other great shows. Lee Mrowicki does several shows, and Gary's got his own show, and there's all kinds of great stuff on there, mostly Jersey-based, which is kind of fun. But you go there and you listen, and you can all of our shows, everything we do here, are archived on their Mixcloud, mixcloud.com/thepenguin. You can listen to this show over and over again. You can listen to Danny Coleman's Got the Blues, the Rock on Radio Indie Hour. He's even got some of the Chip Off the Old Rocks
Nice.
up there. So, that being said, go to newjerseystage.com. It's also the home of my column. And this past Thursday, it was on Moody Blues bassist John Lodge, who, I didn't know this, he had suffered a stroke.
Oh, no.
Back at the end on Christmas Eve, 2023, he suffered a stroke.
Wow.
And he said he's lucky he could still perform, he could still sing. But they're going to be at the Count Basie Theater, or they were. No, they were. They were at the Vogel on the 19th. Then the 20th, they're going to be at the Newton Theater up in Newton, New Jersey. And then on the 20th, they're going to be at the Scottish Rite Auditorium
Oh.
in, 19th, 20th, 18th, 19th, 20th. Yeah, so Friday. They were at the Vogel. Saturday, they were at the Newton. And Sunday, the 20th, they're going to be at, tonight, they're going to be at Scottish Rite Auditorium.
Nice.
But you can go to johnlodge.com, and he's got all that stuff up there. Asbury Park Vibes. Go to asburyparkvibes.com if you're in need of a photographer. If you're a band that wants band photography, headshots, coverage of your live events, press releases, bios. Doug and Diane have a fabulous podcast. They're even starting to do some acoustic shows from that facility. So that is AsburyParkVibes.com. They are on Main Street in Asbury Park, right next to Frank's. That was in that Springsteen film that they were making. Because all of the extras and everything hung out at Asbury Park Vibes all day.
That's right.
So hopefully Diane gets some credit in the movie. Dee Dee's Lights. Dee Dee is the official chandler of Rock On Radio. Yes, she makes all of our candles. And we give them away at charity events and in our prize packs. And speaking of prize packs, I heard from Darren.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out when he wants to come in to be our co-host.
Nice.
For that evening. But that's one of the things I often give away is a chance to co-host Rock On Radio.
Hang out with us. Just come here and hang
Correct. Tyndall Road Brewing. They are the official beer provider of Rock On Radio. They are located at 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown, New Jersey. I have not gone there yet. But they are still our official beer provider.
Yes, they are.
Correct. And I want to thank the Nottingham Tavern for hosting our happy hour. In August, the next happy hour, Rick Winnow will be the performer.
Rick is coming again.
That'll be on the first Thursday of every month, which I believe is August 6th or 7th, one or the other. Anyway, that will be at the Nottingham Tavern, 9 Mercer Street in Hamilton Square, New Jersey.
The 7th.
And Radio Garden State, they got all kinds of stuff going on, Radio Garden State. But you can hear this program every Monday at 10 a.m., the Indie Hour every Wednesday at 10 a.m., and Got the Blues, Danny Coleman's Got the Blues every Friday at 10 a.m. And I think that's it, Claire.
Did you do socks?
Oh, Tina. Forgot about Tina. Sinister Footwear. If you go to sinisterfw.com, check out some of the crazy, wild socks that Tina sells. Cartoons, movies, sports, historical things. They're all on there. Use the promo code DCRSOCKS, and you'll get 10% off your order.
Nice.
That's good. So tonight we have an in-studio guest. We're expecting a phone call in about an hour now or so from now from a gentleman named Casey Wayne. Not sure if that's going to come through or not, because all they asked me for was a phone number and never confirmed whether or not they're calling. So either way,
We'll find out.
apparently he has a Luke Bryan tribute band that's going to be playing somewhere around here, and
Okay.
I'll get to that in a second, but our in-studio guest is more important. But Claire, if they go to Facebook, they can find us at facebook.com/Danny Coleman's Rock On Radio 2. That's the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram at Rock On Radio, all one word, all capital letters. Where else can they find us, Claire?
You're switching it up on me. I'm
throwing you a curveball.
I know. Well, if you go to our website, it's dcror.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com.
Correct.
See, and now you lost your whole spiel afterwards.
No, you got it. No, because I'm excited. I haven't seen this gentleman in how many years has it been since you've been here?
Ooh, 2016.
Really?
And then again, maybe a few years later. So, but it's been at least 5-6 years.
Been at least 5-6 years, right?
That's been BC.
That's before Claire, yes, it was BC. However, I'm excited because this gentleman has replaced Neil Young and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. No, wait, that's a different gentleman. No, but he has a Neil Young tribute band called Decade.
That's one.
And you're also in another Neil Young tribute band,
Sugar Mountain.
Sugar Mountain. And you just put out your own music under John Hathaway and Gray Riders with an album called Before My Time. Welcome, John Hathaway!
Thank you very much, Danny. It's a pleasure to be here.
So how did Neil take it when you replaced him?
He didn't get back to me.
Yeah, typical. Typical. Actually, a fun factoid. Randy Bachman and Neil Young were both from Winnipeg, the Winnipeg area. Back in the day, and this is coming right from Randy Bachman's lips, he said they used to borrow each other's equipment. Hey, are you using the amp tonight? Can I borrow? And they used to charge each other $5. So they just kept paying him $5 back and forth. But you are here because you have this new album called Before My Time that you've done with Gray Riders.
Yes, sir.
So I'm all ears, man. Tell me about it. What have you been up to? Let's go that way, because you've been I catch you every now and then on social media, and you've kind of been very busy.
Not as busy as I would like to be,
No.
but that's every musician's lament. Decade was my thing for a while. It's still going. That was my Neil Young tribute that I started about 11 years ago now. Sugar Mountain came knocking one day and asked me to be their front man. And I said, sure, why not? More the merrier. And Gray Riders is the newbie. We got, and it's actually the same band of guys that I have with Decade. And we just, or maybe more, I decided that I wanted to get some original music out there. and they were willing to do it with me. So we started working on stuff last fall. We rehearsed the songs that actually came out on this album, and we went into Surefire Studios in December with Joe DeMeo. And lo and behold, in May, we got it all done and processed, and it's available now for whoever wants a copy, or you can hear it on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, a couple others, Amazon,
and they
Deezer.
buy this? Can they buy this direct from you? You have a website?
Yeah,
social
if you send
media?
me you send me a message on Facebook, and we'll go through the logistics. I'll mail it to you if you're not from the area. I'll find you somehow. And
hopefully they go to their P.O. box.
Well, maybe it goes to their house.
Oh,
Some people, go to their mailboxes every day.
well, you saw my back seat. That's where I live, in the back of my pickup truck.
Okay.
That's why I had to put that cover on the back.
Oh, please.
So what made you go? Because you've been having a really good run with those two Neil Young tributes. So what made you want to go back and do? Because this is your second one, right?
Yeah, the first one was more like a solo effort, but my drummer Kenny Basinski drummed for me on that one, and he's still with me now. Lou Perillo on bass, Joe Napolitano, pedal steel, and Billy Siegel on keys. They're all with me in Decade, and I just decided that, you know what, there's got to be a bigger world out there, even if it's not the easiest thing to do to get your original music heard. I mean, everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. But it gives me another avenue to pursue. The Neil Young thing is okay. I think it could be busier, but for some reason, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of the tribute band market is just completely saturated, and not everybody's going to go to see a tribute band every week. So this is just another thing for me to do to fill in the gaps, and actually have some fun with it, because it's really cool when you're like I said, some of these songs I've been performing for years, and some of my friends sing it back to me at a show. It's like a really cool thing.
That's the greatest compliment anyone can ever pay a singer-songwriter.
I mean, they sing the Neil Young stuff too, no doubt. But when you can hear your own song sung back to you, it's a nice feeling.
Well, nobody probably knows the complexities of the music business as much as our buddy Billy Siegel, having success with the dervishes, with the whirling dervishes, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I think you hit the nail right on the head.
I do that every day too.
So you're experienced at it.
Unfortunately, there is a day job involved here.
With what you said about tribute bands. Now I'm gonna go back when I first started writing for the Trentonian back in 2010. I had received a thing from the editor telling me that they think I should go cover this gentleman and see what he's got going on. So they sent me up to Sonic Boom Studios in Raritan, which is owned by Anthony Kreisen. Mm. So when I walk in, there's gold records on the wall from the stuff he worked with and for, and from Aerosmith and from freaking Spin Doctors. And, and I get there, and it was himself, Johnny Hummel on drums, Cece Coletti, and Cece's husband, TJ Jablonski. So Anthony and I were in the control room, and I said, what exactly am I here to cover? What am I doing? He said, we have a tribute band. It's called Experience Janis. It's a 2-set tribute show. Cece's going to do all the Janis stuff. I'm going to do all the Jimi Hendrix stuff, hence Experience Janis. Oh, great. He said, it's a tribute band. He goes, there's only a couple around that have been around for years. He said, but trust me, the market for this is going to explode. And that was in 2010. And he's right. Now everybody wants to be in a tribute band. Matter of fact, the guy Casey Wayne calling tonight, the Luke Bryan tribute. Luke Bryan's still relevant.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, how much of a tribute are you paying if you're playing
When
recent
you can
music?
still go see the real guy.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So, but, and I'm not knocking that in any way, but there are. It's just like anything else. It's just like Nashville. When I was a kid, you had to go to New York or L.A. Now everybody goes to Nashville. Get a couple of hot people come out of a certain area, and people like sheep.
Yep.
You know, they go there. And the same thing with tribute bands. There's so many now, all vying to play all these kind of same places. And you being Neil Young, doing a Neil Young tribute, case in point, I had interviewed John Anderson of Yes
Nice.
a couple years ago, and my ex-brother-in-law said to my nephew, "Hey, Uncle Bud interviewed John Anderson." And he said, "Who's John Anderson?" And he said, "Of Yes." And he said, "Who's Yes?" I mean, he's 33 years old, this
come
kid
on.
now. So he was like 31. So, of course, I harped on my ex-brother-in-law. I'm like, dude, that is just poor parenting. What is wrong with you? But as we get older, and I was telling you the story before I went on the air about my band in high school. So I was like 15, 16 years old. What do you call it? What's it? Rust? No,
Rust Never Sleeps.
Right. Was out when I was in high school. So the kids that are like 30 to 40 years old now, kids or young men and women that are 30 to 40 years old now, they still were 20 years from being, thought of when that stuff, right. So how do you battle something like that? You have an artist who is classic rock, but almost becoming a niche type of deal.
Well, he's still out there. He's still touring. I mean, he took
Correct.
a few years off. He was not. I don't think he dealt with COVID very well. And I'm not going to get into that. But he's back out now. He's touring Europe. He's got a new band, which was basically guys from The Promise of the Real, which was a band he toured with 10 years ago, maybe. Because Crazy Horse COVID got to them and they just couldn't come back from it. I think Ralph and Billy really had a struggle with that. But Neil is Neil, and Neil's going to go do what Neil wants to do. So he's out there. He doesn't sing as well as he used to, but he can still play. And, his fans don't really care. They love him for what he does. And I'm just trying to do the most authentic representation I can do. And so does, both of my bands. We play to the T. We do what people would expect to hear and what I would expect to hear if I went to any show. If I go to a Who show, I want to hear the guys do the windmills or no, hear the windmills, but do the Pete Townsend thing and sound like, Pete, and Roger sound like Roger. The problem is not everybody's as authentic as they should be, and that is probably for various reasons. But I want to hear a band play like I expect to hear. I don't want to hear somebody just singing Neil Young songs that doesn't sound like Neil Young. So I make it my job to sound as close to Neil as possible. And that's why I think we've been successful, more so with Sugar Mountain, because we played 13 or 14 different states. Decade is more of a local thing, and I have my friends and fans here who come to see me every time I play, and I love that. And it's all about opportunities, because you can be the best band out there, but if you don't have the right agent, or you don't have somebody who's putting you in the right rooms, you almost don't matter, because somebody else can go hear a different one somewhere else and maybe they're satisfied with it. and there's not much I can do about that except keep doing the best I can do with it. And that's why I still do it. But Gray Riders, again, gives me an opportunity to do something else.
Well, and that was going to be my couple of questions. Couple ways I can go there. But number one, when you do go see a tribute band, of course you want them to sound like the artist. Do you feel pressure to be precise when you do that? Because if you were in a cover band in a bar and you were playing a Neil Young tune, you'd have freedom with it.
Yeah.
But when somebody's spending
noise.
money at the Lizzie Rose or the Wonder Bar, wherever you guys have played, they kind of want to...
They're there because they expect it to be good. And do I feel pressure about it? Not anymore, because I've been doing it for 11 years, and I know I sound as close as anybody. So no, there's not necessarily a lot of pressure vocally. Guitar-wise, a little bit, because in Sugar Mountain we have a lead guitar player, Tommy Delaney, and Tommy's an amazing guitar player, and he plays Neil stuff, but then he can actually go beyond that. When I play solos from Neil, I have to be scripted. I have to know exactly what I'm going to do. I can't necessarily just jam out. And plus, again, like I hear his leads in my head.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, everybody out there hears the same thing. You start doing something else, they're like, okay, well, I guess that's okay, but it's not what I expect to hear. So with the guitar work, there's a little more practice. There's a little more stress and pressure.
Right.
Involved. Not vocally, though.
If I went to see Leonard Skinner and they hit the Freebird solo and it wasn't that, you'd be like,
yeah,
right.
Every band, there's, distinctive solos you need to hear. And if you don't hear them, you're going, well, did you not put in the work? What's the reason? Could you not do it? Do you not have enough talent to do it? So, and again, if you're going to be in a tribute band, you need to have every bit of talent necessary to do that tribute. I just feel that's the way it should be. It's not about just mailing it in. And if you're just doing it because there's more money involved, then it's even worse.
Well, this we know. So, which brings me to my next question with this new album, John Hathaway and Gray Riders, Before My Time. And we'll get to the title and all that intricacies in a bit, but how much of your love of Neil Young and his music, how much of that creeps into your original?
That's a great question. That's a great question because sometimes I just feel like the reason I can sound so close to Neil is because it comes kind of naturally. I don't have to force it. I've heard other people try to force it, and sometimes they end up sounding like cartoon character versions of Neil, like something you'd hear on Ren and Stimpy if you were around for that.
Happy,
and I remember you talking about cartoons earlier. The Boomerang Channel has all of that
stuff. That's right. I love it.
Scooby-Doo at 11 o'clock. But to get back to where did I just veered totally off course here.
You said like
welcome to Rock On Radio, John.
It's not like a cartoon version of those songs.
Yeah. I've totally lost my train of thought.
How much of Neil Young creeps into your originals? There you go. Well, see, it's my job.
Again, okay,
kick
because
you back into play.
I'm back. Sometimes I'll write a song, and when I start singing it, his voice comes out. Because, again, it's more natural for me to do that. And then there are other songs that maybe have some different influences. But it's not overly noticeable. Like the one tune on there that might be the closest to something Neil might write is Country Mile. But other than that, there's a little Southern rock in there. There's some, like I said, Fall Away is like a bluesy, waltzy kind of song. And it might even be a little Springsteen influence in there because I was a fan. And I'm saying I'm not a fan anymore, but that's what I was listening to in the 80s. you know, Born to Run, Wild and the Innocent. I love those albums. So there's a lot of influence from a lot of different places, and I just try to maybe dampen it so it's not so. What's the right word?
So it doesn't bleed in.
Yeah. You just don't want to sound like, oh, that sounds like Bruce, or oh, that sounds like Neil, or he's just ripping him off. No, so I try to like kind of, it's there, but it's not going to knock you over the head.
Okay. Well, if you're just tuning in, I'm here with John Hathaway. He has a brand new album. When was this released?
May.
Okay.
A couple months ago.
John Hathaway and Gray Riders. It's called Before My Time. Let's do some music. Would you like Claire to play something of the selections I sent her, or do you want to do something live?
Sure. I'll get to something live next since we're talking about that. Before My Time is the title track. It's probably the strongest song on the album, and everybody did an amazing job on it.
Okay.
So that would be a good one to start with. And these songs are available on Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon, Apple, Deezer, whatever Deezer is. I don't even know what that one is, but it's out there.
Okay.
But you can check it out.
All right. Well, before we go to Before My Time, why is that the name of the album?
Well, like I said, it's probably the strongest track on the album. It's a little anthemic.
Okay.
It's kind of like, you can either consider it like a coming of age song or coming into your own, and remembering where you came from and honoring heroes of the past that got us where we are today.
Okay. Well, here is Jonathan Hathaway and Gray Riders' title cut of his brand new album, Before My Time.
What the world was like before my time.
Sometimes I feel the sunlight, sometimes I feel the rain, sometimes I feel your thunder and your lightning in my veins. The moon shines down upon me through a tree-lined picture frame, while the wind rises around me, screaming out your name, screaming out your name, screaming out your name. Isn't free now. This is a warning. Because you, when you cross the line, I need some inside of me now. Gets me thinking what the world was like before my freedom isn't free now. This is a warning. Because you, when you cross the line, I need some inside of me now. Gets me thinking what the world was like before my time. Was like before my time.
John Hathaway and Gray Riders, Before My Time. That's the title cut
Nice.
from Before My Time.
Okay.
That's repetitive. Now I'm being redundant.
Well, what else is new?
Redundant. Yes.
It's okay.
Welcome back to.
We gotta burn it into everyone's head.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Burn it in, Danny.
Repetition, repetition.
So where are you from these days, John? Or where are you from originally, and where are you living now?
I grew up in Jersey City,
Okay.
and I escaped.
Mm.
I bounced around a few years, and now I'm in Manalapan.
Oh, okay.
So Central. I stick around the Central, not too far from the shore. Played a lot of places down there. Still do. Been up and down the East Coast too, with Sugar Mountain. Like I said, about 13 and 14 different states with those guys.
Okay.
So
When you go out on the road, how often is it for any length of time, or is it like weekend warrior stuff?
No, we it's not really. You can't call it a tour. It may look like a tour, but usually it involves playing one or two places up in the Northeast, maybe around Massachusetts, coming back, and then you can go out a week later. Maybe we're in Connecticut, and then we've been to South Carolina. We went to South Carolina. That was a road trip.
Yeah.
But then just
Where'd you
back
play
from
there?
We played. It was more of a private event for people with a lot of money, and but we gone to Florida. We do Pennsylvania. We have a show coming up in Delaware, and New Jersey. We've been in the Newton Theater many times.
Okay.
Those guys are mostly from up that area. And decades just playing. We played the Vogel now 2 years running, sold it out both times.
Excellent.
And but Decade kind of takes a little bit of a backseat because I don't cross-pollinate rooms with those two bands.
Right.
I don't think that's fair to anybody. So, Sugar Mountain just plays a lot more anyway. But I try to keep it fair.
Well, plus all those guys in Decade with you that are on this new album of yours, they've all got other gigs.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
don't lack
Nobody
for
has
work.
one project
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
No.
So, oop, that thought train just got derailed. I had something I was going to ask him, and it went right out of my head.
There's a lot of
Wow.
that going on tonight.
Telling you. What's your name again?
Yeah, that gets confused.
Well, this we do. When you are on the road with your tribute bands, do you ever sneak any of your own originals in, or is that you keep that separate as well?
Not with Sugar Mountain.
Well,
Then again, it just came out, so we're strictly a Neil Young tribute. Decade was that way too. What we've started doing, and we did this at the Vocal, the Gray Riders opened up for Decade,
right.
and so we got our 5. I think we did the whole album. People didn't really know what they were hearing.
Right.
It was interesting. We were doing a show based on the Ditch trilogy years
Okay.
when Neil wanted to go non-commercial after Harvest. And he was just playing whatever he felt like playing. He was having a good time with tequila. And he was also going through some tough moments with the death of Danny Whitten and Bruce Berry, his roadie.
Yeah.
And I did a show last year based on the 3 albums, Time Fades Away, On the Beach, and Tonight's the Night. And it sold out. And we were a little surprised. We just didn't know if it was going to be as sellable as most other shows I've done. Harvest, I've done other Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere shows, but it went over very well. So we did part 2 this year, based on the songs we didn't do last year. So halfway through the first set, some guy in the front row says, "Do you know any Neil Young?" And I'm like, "What do you think I've been doing for the last 20 minutes?" And I think the bigger question should have been, "Do you know any Neil Young?" Because really, how could you be at a Neil Young show and not know that the guy is doing Neil Young songs that maybe you're not familiar with, but still,
Well, I'm going to tell you another very quick story. I get to interview a lot of classic rock bands. And now the thing is, because these guys are all in their 70s or approaching their 70s, they go out with other classic rock bands so that they only have to do one 45-minute to an hour set, and they can get on the bus and go to the next place. That's why you'll see Styx with Foreigner and Don Felder and
Triple Bill,
Leonard Skinner with Bad Company, you know. So, and most recently, our friend Jack Daly is with the Spin Doctors. So Spin Doctors, Gin Blossoms, and Blues Traveler are all together now.
Okay.
And what happens is it becomes a greatest hits tour, because they've only got a 45-minute to an hour set. So people are paying X number of dollars for a ticket. They want to hear the songs
That's all
know.
they want to hear. Yeah.
Go back in time a bit, and my editor for a magazine out of Los Angeles that I was writing for calls me up one day, says, "Dude, what are you doing tonight?" I said, "Well, no, you don't. You're going to meet me at the Garden." I'm like, as in Madison Square Garden? She's like, "Yeah, I'll be in." She said, "I'm on my way to my hotel room. Meet me at the Garden. We're going to see Van Morrison." Van Morrison had just put an album out. It's only a handful of years ago. I show you how forgettable it is. I don't even remember what the title was. Okay. Van Morrison. Now, the ticket she got me.
I know where this is going.
He played nothing that anybody knew. He did some calypso version of Brown Eyed Girl, and it took like the first minute and a half before anybody knew what it was. And at the end, for an encore, he did Gloria.
Yikes.
And he walked off while the band was still playing and never came back. All right? And sitting next to me were two young ladies from North Carolina who drove all the way up to New York City because they couldn't get tickets down in North Carolina cheaper than they could drive up to New York and get a hotel room for the night and a
Wow.
ticket into the show. That's how
Really?
people, because it was like his first U.S. tour in years,
That sounds upside down, though.
right? Well, this is what they told me.
Mm.
At the end of the show, the amount of F-bombs coming out of their mouths, I drove all the way here for this, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And because he didn't do anything anybody knew. Now, I like Neil Young,
He's known to do that.
but those three albums you're talking about, I'm not familiar at all.
Well, to just put it in perspective, that's not all we did. We came back and did a greatest hits set afterwards. But the whole point of doing the Ditch trilogy was we're going to play songs you don't hear anybody else doing.
Right. No, I get it.
And they're all,
yeah.
believe me, they were all great songs. I mean, I love, he hates the Time Fades Away album. I love it. You know, it's so raw.
So, since you said that some of Neil creeps into your original music, what is it that draws you to him enough to have him influence the way you write?
Well, the thing about my writing is I feel like I learned from the masters by listening to what they've done, and not just Neil, Bruce. I mean, there's some. Dave Grohl has crept into some of my music in the past. Alice in Chains has crept into some of my music. There's a lot of influences, like I said earlier. And, you know, sometimes a song just comes out and it just goes in that direction. And I don't necessarily stop it. I go, well, you know, I'm not going to try to sound like Dave Grohl, but it's kind of a Foo Fighters type song. Or, you know, this song sounds like Neil, but I'm not going to sing it exactly like Neil would sound because it would make it, you know, derivative. That was the word I was looking for earlier. So it's really just, you know, crafting a song is kind of an art in itself. You need to know what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you can't just, your phrasing has to be right. Your chord structures have to make sense. You could be a band that is more progressive and go in a lot of different directions like Yes used to do, which was one of my early favorite bands, by the way. Yes.
Who?
Who? Yes. Yes. Who's on first?
Not the Who? Yes.
So yeah, but you know, Joe Napolitano, my pedal steel guy, has said to me, "Your songs are good. You know what you're doing," and you know, because he does a lot of work with various artists that Joe calls him in. You know, at Shoreline,
Right.
calls him into. You know, hey, we need a pedal steel part. Can you come in? And
He works with Lisa Sherman sometimes too, in one of her
I
tributes here or
think
there.
so.
I think. Yeah.
Maybe the McCartney one.
I don't remember.
But Joe's like, sometimes I'm in the studio and it's like, this isn't even a song. But he goes, you know, he again, I am very blessed to have the guys that I have with me because they're willing to do this stuff and do the work and do the homework. Because, you know, we rehearse maybe once a week, sometimes every 2 weeks, whatever we can, you know, work out. But they go home and they work on the stuff and they bring it to rehearsal. And, you know, we don't have to waste too much time with, oh, no, that part's wrong. This part, you play this here, don't play that. It's, you know, pretty remarkable to have a band that open to doing that kind of thing at our age.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody's getting rich here. You know, it's just, the market isn't there for original music. And I don't know why that is, because everything you love was once an original song by somebody that nobody ever heard before.
Who's he sound like, Claire? I've said that so many times.
Yeah.
This is, you're playing Yeah.
But it's got to be good too. It's got to be listenable. And like I said, I'm lucky I have a good core fan base that appreciates, the original stuff too, and they let me, they let me explore that and appreciate it too. Just need about like 5,000 more people like that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about it. People like you stop writing original music, then we'd have the same songs over and over and over again. Some songs
Yeah.
are meant to stand the test of time. Classical music, I mean, it's been around for
Hey, I
hundreds
still
of
listen
years.
to Sinatra.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. If you're just tuning in, I have John Hathaway, and he has a brand new album out from John Hathaway and Gray Riders called Before My Time. Let's do some more music.
How about Country Mile? Because again, it's got a little Neil influence, but
Okay.
it's not going to bang you over the head. But I think you'll kind of get it.
All right. Sounds good to me.
Here it
Country
is.
Mile.
Country Mile.
I was walking down the road, bearing a heavy load, but I had to wait for a train to pass me by. I thought I'd hitch a ride, it would give me a place to hide, but I had to wait for a way to jump inside. Well, I waited just a little too long, and then everything went wrong. And I tried, but I missed it by a country mile. I was singing in a dusty bar, trying just a little too hard, but I have to say, this time's not the first. I was playing my guitar for tips thrown in a jar, but I have to say, things could have been worse. Well, the note was a little too high, not enough booze to get me by. And I tried, but I missed it by a country mile. I guess I'll rue the day that misfortune came my way. Things have gone from bad to worse and more. I used to be a younger man than what I am today. I never used to miss those things before. Now I'm walking back down that road, wondering how I got so old when I heard that train coming back down the line. I ran as fast as I can, like I was a younger man, trying to catch that train while I still had time. But fate had another plan, and it got me once again. And I tried, but I missed it by a country mile. Yes, I tried, but I missed it by a country mile. Well, I tried, but I missed it by a country mile. Yes, I tried, but I missed it by a country mile.
John Hathaway and Gray Riders off the album Before My Time, and that was Country Mile here on
like it.
Rock On Radio. we were talking while that was going out over the air. You're going to be at the Lizzie Rose coming up soon.
I am. I've
Okay.
been there, I think, at least 10 or 12 times now.
Really?
One of my favorite places to play. It's very intimate. You know your audience is there to listen. Not a lot of obnoxious behavior going on. And it's a fun place to play. The staff is great. And Lou Reichert does a great job running that place. And great sound system. Just a fun room. And really, I appreciate the fact that I can play there in various situations. And so the Gray Riders and myself will be there on August 23rd. And tickets are still available. It's a limited capacity. It's about 70 or so. But it's I think it's down in Tuckerton, New Jersey. It's a little bit of a ride down the Parkway, but definitely a room that once people go there, they usually go back again for other shows.
8 o'clock show or 7:30?
Yeah, I think it's 7:30. Yeah, usually.
Best part, free parking.
Oh, absolutely.
He doesn't charge you to park.
Couple of nice restaurants nearby, I think.
Yeah.
Nice little town.
Tuckerton, oh yeah. When I was a kid, I used to go. A friend of my father's had a boat that he used to slip down in Tuckerton. We used to go out fluke fishing in the Barnegat Bay back in the day. So I've been familiar with Tuckerton forever. One time the motor didn't start, so we rented a boat and we almost drowned. True story.
Fun.
Almost drowned because a boat went by us and the wake was way too bad, and it almost capsized us, and so much water came in the boat that the whole boat started.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fun.
And the one guy that was with there were 4 of us, me, my dad, his buddy, and this other friend of my father's, and he was French. And he sat in the end of the boat. I cannot swim, and he's panicking.
That's what God
Well, you
made
better
life.
start bailing, or we're all going to be swimming. You're going to learn.
Yeah, why are you on a boat if you can't swim?
Well, he
I mean,
wasn't supposed
I
to
know
be
you
on
don't
that
expect that to happen.
He was supposed to be on a 24-foot boat, but the motor died.
Oh.
And we had driven all the way down there, and he trailers it and slips it into the water, and
They didn't have a life vest for the poor guy.
no, we had to rent a boat. They didn't provide those. This was the 70s, man. Nobody did anything like. We weren't a bunch of mamby-pambies.
No.
Bunch of drowned rats.
So,
Saying.
what else do you have coming up for gigs? I mean, you got the Lizzie Rose on August 23rd. Any solo? Do you ever do any solo stuff to support these kind of things?
I haven't pursued that very strongly because I almost feel like that's a slap in the face to your bandmates. You know, and I know they wouldn't care, but you know, like we're working hard, and okay, I'm gonna go play a solo show, guys. See ya. And you know, I just don't think that's kind of the right thing to do. And usually, when you start seeing bands doing that, they're not together much longer.
Right.
And again, I appreciate my guys so much that I wouldn't ever want to do anything that would basically insult them or make them feel unwanted or anything. And these guys are, you know, my friends, and, you know, and maybe more so, maybe we're like brothers, you know, and, you know, I want it to stay that way.
Right.
You know, so it's better that I don't. There's an opportunity. I may pursue it. It's I don't want to get into too much detail because if I don't do it, people be wondering what you do. But that may happen sometime in the fall if I get around to it. But I also don't want to mess up ticket sales for anything else. So, you know, you start putting yourself out there too much, you know, it's going to take away from something else. So I try not to do that. Sugar Mountain's going to get busy in the fall. Like I said, A Decade has a show in October at Belmar Arts, October 11th, and there's 2 shows, a day show and then an evening show. So if anybody's interested in that, we're going to do Harvest Moon Harvest, which means we're going to play the best of those two Neil Young albums, Harvest, which came out in the 90s, and Harvest Moon came out in the 90s, and Harvest, which of course was Neil's biggest selling album ever. And we're just going to play the best of those two albums, and then probably play some greatest hits set too. So no Grey Riders involved in that show, but Grey Riders has their show at Lizzie Rose. So, I'm just going to bounce around between the three projects, and if something else pops up here and there, well, we'll see what happens.
So there's going to be a Grey Riders show at the Lizzie Rose.
Grey Riders at Lizzie Rose, yeah. So we're going to play the whole album, and we're going to play what we've been doing there is playing Neil Young also, some of the lesser known, more country influenced Neil songs. And we throw in some covers by some other bands like Marshall Tucker, Allman Brothers. We've done Eagles tunes. We've done a few others. So we mix it up. It's more of a mixed bag with Grey Riders. You get a little bit of both worlds.
Okay. So when you write your music, take me through the John Hathaway writing process.
School of Music.
Well, it happens in different ways. I can't say there's one set formula. Sometimes I'll just wake up with some lyrics in my head.
Okay.
And then, I'll start writing them down on my phone, basically. And the guitar there might be some music in my head, so I try to pull that out on the guitar and see what happens. If a song really comes to me in a good way, I can usually bang it out in 5 minutes. If I write the first verse and a chorus, second verse, and then I can't get into a third verse, I might put it aside and work on it another day. If I don't think it's any good, I throw it away. I don't put anything out there that I don't like myself. So that's the main thing right away is I have to like it. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to force anybody else to listen to garbage. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the music comes first. And I'll just sit down, I'll start playing some chords, and I like the progression or whatever. And I was like, okay, this needs some words. And then the words come after. So it does work both ways for me sometimes. And either way, the process has to almost be complete immediately, or it either doesn't get finished or it gets thrown away. So most of the songs that are good that I've written come that way, 5-10 minutes done. And then I'm scrambling to write the lyrics on a piece of paper so I can do a video on my phone so that I remember tomorrow. Because if I don't do that, a lot of times I won't remember the next day. So that's how I keep them around. And that's how I, put them out there to the band sometimes. I say, okay, guys, here's a video. This is, here's the chord. And, you guys do your thing. And that's how a song is born.
So it's a democracy in your band then. Everybody gets to do their own thing. You don't tell them what you want or dictate to them how to...
Well, of course, I'm not going to tell Joe Knapp what to play on the pedal steel. And I'm certainly not going to tell Lou what notes to play on the bass. And absolutely, Billy Siegel, go nuts, man. Do what you do. Kenny, the drummer, we might say, Kenny, just a mid-tempo thing or give me a little accent over here. But, he knows what he's doing, too. So it's not a democracy in the sense that we all wrote the song. But those guys bring those guys make the song happen the way it does on the CD. And without those guys, it'd just be me playing solo acoustic. How boring is that? So we don't. There's a place for that, but it's tough to do that all night long, especially with original music. So the fact that I have these guys putting amazing efforts in is just, it makes the songs that much stronger and worth listening to.
Okay. You're just tuning in. I have John Hathaway here. and he's got a brand new album out called John Hathaway and Gray Riders. It's or John Hathaway and Gray Riders Before My Time, and he also happens to be in two very successful Neil Young tribute bands, Decade and Sugar Mountain. And well, if you go out and do, so you'll have the whole band at the Lizzie Rose on August 23rd,
Yes.
right?
Well, actually, we have Vince Bergamo filling in for Billy, and Vince is a very well known
I was going to say, I know,
Jersey
why do I know
Shore,
that name? Yeah.
South Jersey, more so.
Okay.
And Vince has agreed to learn the original songs and all the other covers that we're doing, so that we have keys for that show. Because Billy's not always available because he's a busy guy. He's got other projects, people calling him all the time. But Billy will be with us in October for the Decade show, and Billy was with us at the Vogel when we did both bands, and so yeah. But I wanted to make sure that even if we didn't have Billy, we could still do the songs the way they're heard on the album, because without the keys on a lot of the songs, the keys are very, very prominent in the song, just like Joe's pedal steel is very prominent a lot of time. But if you take either one of those out, the song is not the same anymore. So we're happy to have Vince filling in, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job.
Fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do some more music, because I have to check on our phone caller here. I'm not sure what happened, but
Okay.
let's do some more music, and when we come back, again, the thought train got derailed. There was something else. Boy, my mind is like all over the place.
A little heat stroke today from
What's
golfing.
left of it?
I
That
heard.
could be.
Yeah.
That could be.
We could use that excuse today.
It was hot today again, and this is this room is 99.9% soundproof. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I
thunder?
heard the thunder. Yeah, a couple times.
Up
Yeah.
here in the hinterlands, we get the big boomers.
Yeah, that's
At
true.
the two-track
A lot of that going
studios.
around.
I'm telling you. So, what do you want us to play?
Well, speaking of keys, and being very prominent in the song, "Don't Leave Me Dying" or "Dying" is again a song I've been playing for years. It's the first song I ever wrote on piano when I was just learning. At that point I did a Neil Young solo show, and I had to learn some piano for that. So this was the first song I wrote on the piano, but it was during COVID, and it's not about COVID. I would never go there with a song, but everybody was doing live streams at that time, and that's all you could really do because no places were open, obviously. And I also knew that was going to get worn out really fast.
And it did.
So I was like, well, if I'm going to do a live stream, and I was living in an apartment in Belmar, and my neighbors next downstairs were really cool about it. I hooked up my PA system. I hung a banner behind me and made it look like I was in some kind of a corner of a pub or something.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't look at an iPad. I didn't talk to my friends who were, oh, hi, Bill. I made it like a show. But I did that song on acoustic guitar, and I remember saying that, this is a song I wrote on piano, but I'm going to do it on guitar tonight because when we do start doing this live, somebody way better than me is going to be playing the piano. I didn't trust myself enough to do it live. So that person turned out to be Billy Siegel. And I asked him when we were in the studio with Joe, and he came in, he did the piano part on an old piano that Joe had there, really vintage. But then I said to him, can you put some orchestration on this song? So he said, yeah, I can do that. And what you're hearing in the background that sounds like an orchestra is really Billy Siegel playing everything on a keyboard, all the various parts.
Wow.
And it's to me, it's an amazing thing that he did to make, and it just makes the song like so much more powerful, and a little maybe like A Man Needs a Maid when Neil did that song with the London Philharmonic. You know, I wanted that kind of feel to it. So that's the story of Don't Leave Me Dying. The night leaves me black and blue, with heavy thoughts of you that pass before my eyes, like storm clouds in the sky. The rain falls on my window pane. It always sounds the same, like what I hear from you. But now I must be moving on, someplace where I belong. But everything I do leads me back to you. So please, don't leave me dying. Don't leave me dying. Time
John Hathaway and Gray Riders, Before My Time, Don't Leave Me Dying. Woo. There's some. This room is 99% soundproof, and that thunder sounds like it's
just south of
on the
here.
other side of the wall. Wow, we are experiencing one heck of a thunderstorm here.
And it's not the library, so, we're not protected from tornadoes.
Which apparently I looked, and our internet was down, and our
cell is a little spotty.
and our cell service is lacking, but hopefully Casey Wayne of Face First, the Luke Bryan tribute band, will call us back because they have a show coming up on August 8th at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds in East
Nice.
Brunswick.
Oh, very cool.
Yep, they'll be there. So hopefully, while we're sitting here, let me try and call this guy. I'll try and call him one more time. Let's see what happens. See if he says hello. Let me have some volume there, Producer Claire. Hello?
Oh, I didn't realize you were plugged in. That's why I didn't put it
Okay. Might be the same problem. Because he called me. I don't have a missed call, but I got a voicemail. So the weather must be affecting Rock On Radio this evening.
up.
So
It's just ringing, so there it goes.
we'll have to...
Reach is not available.
There
At
you
the
go.
tone,
Tried calling you twice. Now you're out.
No, it's not his fault.
What do you think?
Oh, I thought it popped up, but no,
I
it's
think he's got one more strike.
yeah, right.
Think so? 3 strikes, he's out? No, I'd rather talk to you, John Hathaway. I haven't seen you in God knows
Hey,
how
I'm
long.
just being, friendly.
That's why nobody likes me, John. I'm not friendly.
No, he's not. He's a big
Fellow
grumpy old man.
tribute artist. We got to stick together.
I'm a grumpy guy.
He's a grumpy old man. He really is. Get
You remember when we went to Clarksdale?
off my lawn.
We went to Clarksdale. We got off the plane, and we were the last 2 off the plane, and the 2 stewardesses or flight attendants or whatever politically correct term you want to use, they were back there, and I had my Grumpy's T-shirt on.
Oh,
and they're
yeah,
like, is that because that's what you are, or is that because you like their food? I was like, both.
Yes, that's true. You are
But they
grumpy.
were curious as to why we were going.
Well,
to
everyone liked
Memphis.
that T-shirt of yours. Everyone liked that T-shirt of yours. Even our whole tour group liked that T-shirt.
The Grumpies?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
Grumpies. Everybody asked
Grumpies. You know
about
where
it.
Grumpies is in Jacksonville, Florida?
No,
Orange Park, actually, is where
I've
it
been to Jacksonville.
is. Yeah, see that?
I played
All right.
in Jacksonville.
Ah,
Next time you go, you got to look up Grumpies.
I don't remember the name of the place, but I played with the Carol Mayeto band. And if you don't know that name, Carol was the fiddle player for Neil Young on American Stars and Bars.
Oh, no
very
kidding.
Cool.
Yeah.
And she has her own band.
now she was with you guys, or you opened for, or she opened for you, or vice
well,
versa?
When we were off, you were talking about how do I get people in my band? And Decade has had 30-something people pass through the
Okay.
revolving door for various different albums, and different lineups needed certain people, and some people worked better with some shows than others. And but Carol came to us through Gordon Bunker Strout was in Decade with me
Okay.
at the time. Bunker from the shore area, and he was learning fiddle, and he also has a daughter who lives in Florida, and he was down there, and he was looking for somebody to take lessons from, and he found her. So as the
Okay.
story goes, he goes to her house, and he sees all this Neil Young stuff hanging on the wall. She said, "What's all this all about?" She said, "Oh yeah, I played on Neil's album." And he goes, "Oh, I happen to be in a Neil Young tribute band." So they became friends, and then I said to him one day, I said, could we get Carol to do a show with us? So she
That's
happened to be
cool.
in New York, and we did one rehearsal, told her what we were going to play, and we did a show at the in Manasquan, the theater there. What is it called?
Oh, the Algonquin?
Algonquin. Yeah. And then she asked us to come down and do a show with her, and that's how that happened. So the 2 of us went down, not the whole band. But
That's cool.
we were down. I drove down with my girlfriend, and we
That's a ride.
we did. Yeah. But I have some family in St. Augustine, so I got to see them.
Oh,
So
nice.
Oh,
we
That's
made
beautiful.
kind of a
Yeah.
little bit of a trip out of it, and
Nice.
yeah. So that's how that happened, and yeah, it's just like it with me. Like we needed 8 people to do a show at McClune's a few years back where we did After the Gold Rush and Harvest in the same night.
Oh.
So I needed somebody to play French horn. I needed pedal steel. I needed keys. I needed backing vocals, which Pam McCoy provided.
Oh, she's great.
And I had Jeff Levine. I had Joe. Joe was on pedal for me that night. Dave O'Brien has also played in Decade. He's another pedal steel master. Bobby Junko on drums. Then there's been other people over the years. Laura Catalina Johnson has been in Decade. Eric Savka has
Really?
been in
Eric
Decade.
Oh, wow, fun.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of people come through the door, and sometimes just too much time goes by, and you start maybe doing something with some other people, and you say, well, okay, I'm doing this show now. You want to do this show with me, and that's kind of how the newest version of Decade came about. There was a 2-year lapse where we didn't do anything. And I just retooled it with the current lineup. And then they
okay.
became the Gray Riders, too, because we'll work so well together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how that all went. It's been a wacky ride.
Yeah.
What other
but all-
ride is
all
there?
good.
That's worth
All
it,
good.
right?
Well, you're trying to keep together something like with the original record.
Mm-hmm.
This is yours. You can go at your own pace. You could pick and choose. You could, certain gigs, so on and so forth.
Well, they're not easy to get anyway.
Well-
So I wish I could say, I could just decide what I want to go do next week. But no, it doesn't work like that. And if you don't have an agent, it's even harder.
Right. Well, it depends on where you're looking too. Like down where I live, down around Trenton, there is no where to play original music. Nowhere. Asbury Park's a different story.
Well,
know?
the Saint's gone.
Yeah, but there's so many other places other than the Saint. There's coffee houses. There's the boardwalk. There's
Yeah, where you basically don't make any money. You're just happy to be doing what you're doing. I'm not at that point where that's okay.
okay. Well, I mean, and that's when it comes down to now. You and I both know it. Nobody's going to pay you what they're going to pay Decade.
Oh, no.
To go out and play
Not even
the
close.
songs on Before My
close.
Time.
Right.
There's all kinds of theories to that. I mean, you didn't spend the money you spent to have Joe DeMeo and Surefire create this, from what I've heard so far, very good piece of art.
Yeah.
To have 500 of these sitting in your closet.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't spend that kind of money for nobody to hear the music.
Right.
So there's an artist from the Jersey Shore, and I probably should talk to her because I haven't spoken to her in years. Her name's Laura Chrissy. And Laura had a theory: give away the music, make money off the merch. Then I had another artist say to me, well, my father always said, you got to know your worth. So my CDs are $10. Okay, who are you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're a local guy. So after friends and family and one or two at a show, what are you going to do with those 1,000 CDs that you have in your closet?
Well, luckily I didn't order that many.
So that was his theory. Matter of fact, I have I'm down finally 10 years later
How many of
to half a case of Jack Furlong
Furlong's
CDs
one?
because he ordered 1,000. He literally gave me a case, and I've probably got about 10 of that case left. I think there was 100 in the case, and I got like 10 left. And he's a very good jazz musician. However, so that's those theories. Now, when it comes to gigging, original artists are never going to get what they're worth, unless you can pack them in somewhere and make sure that you wherever you're playing is selling booze or food or both.
Yeah, but if that's the situation, you're going to end up being background noise because nobody's really going to be paying very much attention to you because they're there for other things.
Now, there's two theories to that too. There could be 100 people in that room. 99 of them could care less, but there could be one that actually does.
Yeah.
You may sell a CD. He may be the guy. I had a friend who used to be in a band in Philly. He went to see another one of his friends who were in a band in Philly. Went out. It was him and like 10 other people. And the band was up on stage, and they played their rear ends off as if it was 10,000.
Sure.
One of those people was an A&R guy for Sony Records,
Mm-hmm.
or Epic. I think it was Sony. They're both owned by Sony now anyway. But the point being is that if you want to get your original music out, you know it and I know it, you're not going to make the money you make with the tribute band.
No.
No.
Not
So
yet, anyway.
maybe sitting on the Asbury Hotel rooftop and doing your original music for an hour and a half or whatever, or splitting, or getting on some performer showcase. I mean, you want people to hear this, and you want people to hopefully buy it. Then there's the licensing angle that you can go to.
Yeah. What drove me to do this too, though, was the thought, and I'm not saying it's ever going to happen, but you can only take a tribute band so far. I mean, you can play theaters, whatever capacity they are. If you know, some of them can fill a 1,700 seat room, but you can't do any more than that. You can't go beyond that. With an original band, you could end up opening for somebody,
Right.
and you don't know where that could be. It could be, State Theater, New Brunswick. I mean, I'm not even sure that they do that there, but a bigger name comes through Red Bank.
Mm-hmm. Count Basie
And plays
or
the Count
the
Basie.
Vogel, yeah.
And maybe because I played there, maybe somebody just says, you need an opening band? Yeah. How about these guys? So that, I'm not saying it's going to happen. It could happen.
Right.
Okay, but if another bigger name is coming through, they're not going to ask for a tribute band to open for them, most likely. So you can go places that a tribute band can't go, even if you don't ever get there. And the other thing that always kind of bothered me about some of these places, they don't want to pay, or you're just, it comes easy for you. Like, yeah, but I didn't just wake up one day and know how to play guitar. It's kind of like, for me, it's not about the money, but it's about being compensated somewhat fairly, because if we don't play, nobody's coming to your place, or you're not going to have a better night without music than you would with. So it's about being treated fairly, not, and this happens too, there's always some level of disrespect no matter where you go.
Oh, yeah.
But keeping that to a minimum, and as long as you do well for the place, you should be compensated, better than when you were doing it in 1980.
True story.
So-
Now, and along those lines, I had I got something off my chest on last week's show. There's a tavern that I do my happy hours at, the Nottingham Tavern. And essentially, they pay what I think is a fair rate for a 2-hour gig. It's a small room. You don't need to lug a ton of PA equipment. Maybe one speaker stand, and your board or whatever you use. Load in, load out. You can do within a half hour. It's not like where you're wheeling stuff up ramps. Right there, but I mean everything is nice and easy. And the guy pays what I think is a fair wage. It's a lot more than I made in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And I've actually had people tell me, no, it doesn't pay enough. And I'm thinking, where are you going that you're going to get that kind of stuff? Now, I could see if it's somebody like you from Manalapan to Hamilton Square, you're looking at an hour plus ride, hour 5, hour 10. So it's not just a 2-hour gig. Now it's 4 hours plus whatever your load in, load out time is, and then reload at home. So yeah, it goes down. But if you're a local guy and you're getting offered, quite a bit of money, and it's not enough, you wonder, okay, what are you in it for? What are you doing this for? It's kind of, and I like what you just said, because if you do a gig at the Vogel and you open for somebody, that might lead to the State Theater. That might lead to the Summer Stage at the Stone Pony. Mm-hmm. That might lead to maybe, Ocean's Casino in Atlantic City. It could go anywhere.
Yes.
But you never know if you don't get out there and
don't try.
Put your stuff out so people can hear it.
Yeah. Well, it's a slow build. Nothing was going to happen overnight with this thing. I mean, I'm on Spotify. I got like 500 streams or something like that, which is nothing to write home about. But it's 500 more than I had in June.
That's right.
In April. So it's going to be that way. And again, nobody was under any delusions here. We're doing it because we want to do it. The guys like the music, and they're willing to go on this road with me. And
which is great. You got half the battle right there, man.
Yeah, we can take this as far as it lets us. And that's maybe till Lizzie Rose and back.
That's right. August 23rd at the Lizzie Rose Music Room. Good sake, you.
We'll see what the future brings, and the more. Well, I mean, I have fans in Holland.
Beautiful.
And the reason I have those fans is because I played at a Neil Young festival 3 times in the late 2018, 19, or somewhere around that time. And they've heard some of my original music, so they're listening over there a little bit. And I was amazed to see that somebody in Mozambique listened to something.
They even have electricity?
It blows my mind.
I'm laughing because my cousin is over there in Mozambique, Tunisia. That's where she lives.
There's a couple in Germany, some in Canada, some in Brazil, one in Colombia, one in India.
There you go.
And I'm like, okay, can we get like can you get a few of your friends to listen to? Maybe I could do a world tour, with 500 streams.
That's the beauty. Like my blues music show. Apparently, I'm big in Japan, Norway, and Moscow. Go figure.
That's great,
right? They love the blue. Yeah, they love that stuff over there. But
I know they do like the blues. Yeah.
Yes, the European.
Yes,
and
I know that for a fact.
Asian, for whatever reason. Well, let's do some more music. You want to do something live, or you want to go off? What do you want to do?
Well, I've been holding this guitar on my lap for an hour and a half. So yeah, why don't I do something that maybe on the next record.
Ooh.
So
teaser.
This is. I mean, it's not necessarily a new song for me, but it's unheard. I don't think I've ever performed it live, and maybe there's a phone video floating around somewhere. But
so this could be considered its radio debut.
It could be, and I can hear the Gray Riders, adding their their parts to this song at some point. And
Fantastic.
it's a little bit of again, I tend to write like from a personal standpoint and things that have happened to me or things that are going on in my life, but they're relatable to just about anybody. And this song is called Change My Ways. I live my life now the only way I know how. You don't have to like what I do. I like to speak my mind. Sometimes the truth is hard to find. I guess it's all the same to you, but they ain't gonna get me to change my ways. No, they ain't gonna get me to change my ways. Keep one ear to the ground just so I know when they're coming around. They want to keep me in line, but I stay one step ahead, go bother somebody else instead. Ain't gonna let them waste all my time, though they ain't gonna get me to change my ways. No, they ain't gonna get me to change my ways. They say I'm getting old, that's what I've been told, but I'm getting wiser every day. Youth is wasted on the young. I like my heroes to be unsung. Sometimes that's the price you gotta pay. No, they ain't gonna get me change my ways. No, they ain't gonna get me to change my ways.
There you go, John Hathaway. And what's
Thank
that?
you.
What's that called?
Change my ways.
Okay, I don't want to go with the obvious thing. Once again, this is Rock on Radio. I am your host, Danny Coleman. I guess the storm just totally, because I've called our singer back twice and
Blew it out.
got nothing in return, and I sent an email and got nothing in return.
Are they local too, or are
No,
they
they're
New Jersey?
from, I don't know where they're from, but they're not from around here.
Well, there was a
Hopefully ours is working, though, because I had a little malfunction here with this stuff, but that's okay.
big. Okay.
That's right. As long as that's working, that's all that matters.
It's working now.
That's right, producer Claire.
For
Websites and everything again?
GrayRidersNewJersey.com.
And that's gray with an E.
Yes, with an E. And there's also Decade New Jersey. Or I'm sorry, Decade NJ, not New Jersey, NJ, just the initials for both. GrayRidersNJ.com, DecadeNJ.com. And Facebook pages for both bands. You know, there's Sugar Mountain has a website. They have a Facebook page. I'm all over.
Okay.
Facebook.
Well,
I'm everywhere.
Which kind of brings me to what we were talking about a little like an offshoot of what we were just talking about before we went. You played that tune. Tribute bands come and go. Artists come and go. Radio show hosts come and go. Everything, it outlives its usefulness. And at some point, there's going to be okay. I've had enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that you're close to that. That's what's going to happen with you.
The writing's on the wall.
But no. One of the questions I often ask my guests is, so you've got the two tributes, the two Neil Young tributes. You've got this, from what I've heard here tonight, great original album.
Thank you.
And you're very talented. You've got connections. You've got friends. You've got the ability to tour, even if it's only for a few days or a week at a clip. What's the end game for John Hathaway? Because it seems like what I've learned tonight is that the original stuff isn't necessarily your priority. Am I right or wrong?
I'm looking at you sideways.
You are. You give me the stink eye. Well, because you've got so much stuff going on, and
well, I can't say that I wouldn't love for Gray Riders to be the most successful thing going on in my life. I don't think that's going to happen. But, like you said, all good things sometimes come to an end, and the fact that the tribute business is so oversaturated. Again, there's a ton of Neil Young tribute bands out there too, with various skills, and it gets harder and harder to get gigs in the places you want to play. We could go back to playing bars. Do we want to do that? No. Will it come to that? I hope not. But again, because there is a bigger upside to the original stuff, even if we never get there, the potential to go further with that is there. Finding the right connections, maybe finding an agent who works with original artists. That's where we need to, kind of not focus our energy, but at least hope that something like that could happen. And I'm not saying the other stuff is ever going to go away. But Neil is also a very polarizing figure. And I'm not going to talk politics here because that's not why I'm here. But he goes a certain direction and may leave half his audience behind. Right. That might trickle down to us. Not saying it is.
Like it did that Springsteen tribute band that got thrown out of that bar. Yeah.
They got a lot of press for that.
Yep.
So maybe it helped them. I don't know. But we don't necessarily see things getting better right now. At best, they're flatlining. And at worst, maybe we played a couple less gigs this year than we did the year before, which you don't really want to do. If you're building a project or you're in something like this, you want it to keep going and get, as far as you can. But if you see that that's not happening, you have to kind of step back and say, all right, well, why is this not as popular as we think it should be? Because, again, I could play a Neil Young song for you next if you want. And, some people say, wow, he sounds amazing. Other people might go, he's okay. But I'm going to give you the most authentic performance I can possibly give you. Whatever you get from it is your
Do you
thing.
think that goes back to what I was saying back at the very beginning about how people probably under the age of 40 don't, or 30, maybe 45 or 50 even, don't know who Neil Young is? I mean, his last really big commercial album was the live one, right? Or what's the one with
you might have to go back to for a really popular one.
Rockin'
You
in
might
the
have to
Free
go back
World.
to Harvest Moon.
Okay.
You could say Prairie Wind was good, but it wasn't on the level of Harvest Moon. And he put out a lot of stuff after that was either political or he was railing against corporations, and that doesn't always resonate with people who want to hear the next
I want to
harvest
hear
from
Heart
you.
of Gold. Yeah.
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 Which is like the guy in the Vogel saying to me, "Do you know any Neil Young?" Well,
Right.
do you know any Neil Young?
No, I get it. I get it.
If you came here expecting to hear Harvest, you came to the wrong show. But
kind of a
it
tightrope.
remains to be seen.
Yeah.
We have an agent working with us with Sugar Mountain, and it's been okay. Has it been earth shattering? No. And again, I think after COVID, people rushed to go back to shows because they missed it. Now years have passed. Now it's back to that complacency where, I don't know if I want to spend $40 to go see a band when I can go see a cover band in a bar for free.
Right.
So it depends on their
Which
taste.
is also a risk that you run being in a tribute band.
Which is why we don't play as much as those cover bands.
Right. I was in a 10-piece band that recreated a radio broadcast from the 60s right on stage. We were called Boss Radio AM Gold. Did the boss jock thing. I was the radio voice, and I did percussion. It was 10 pieces. And we went from song into song into song into song into song. There was no downtime whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
If there had to be an instrument change or something, or somebody had to, that was when I filled in and offered up. If you call in and you'll get a free transistor radio, that type of deal. We had everything geared. We had a screen like this behind us that had advertisements from the 60s and 70s. We played the old radio jingles. We did everything. Very first gig, just to test it out, was in a local tavern. We made for the 10-piece band, we made $600. That's all the guy offered to pay us. But it was more important for us to get out there, see what this was like.
What year was this?
This was 6 years ago now.
Oh,
maybe.
okay.
Yeah, no,
Not
6,
20
7
years
years ago.
No.
6, 7 years ago, maybe.
So
8.
anyway,
Because you said transistor radios.
well, because it was Boss
It was
Radio
like-
AM Gold. We were playing music from 19.
Okay.
We were recreating an old AM radio broadcast from 1960 up to 1975. That's where we were going. That's all the music came from there. So we played this little bar. They actually had to tell people they couldn't come in because they were already over fire capacity. Okay? So, okay, we're on to something. We never played a room that held less than 700 from that point on.
Okay.
And we would only go out once every 6 to 7 weeks because people wanted it. They were hungry.
Yeah,
They were
you
hungry.
didn't wear it out.
know? Right. Like, oh, wow, them guys are playing again. And we played at casinos in Parks Casino over in Pennsylvania. We played at the Sussex County Fairgrounds. We played. I used to walk out of there with between $200 and $300 myself. They would charge thousands. We would charge thousands, and people would pay it because we were packing them in. But it's because we didn't oversaturate
Yes.
ourselves. So, but in your case, you're at that you're kind of facing the same thing, but you're kind of struggling with what you were saying before about the guy who do you know any Neil Young?
Yeah. I actually wrote that on a piece of paper and I hung it in my room where I practice. So yeah, motivation. Some motivation.
You know what you should do? You should you get banners made up for $20.
I should get T-shirts.
The
maybe.
T-shirt, there you go. I got a guy if you need something.
you know
Claire,
Neil Young?
how much time do we have left?
8 minutes.
Okay, we got 8 minutes. You want to do some more music? You want to try a Neil Young tune? You want us to play another one off Before My Time?
I will play a Neil Young song because he is a huge part of what I do.
Okay.
And I think it's only right that I play something.
All right, well, we have John Hathaway, brand new album out. John Hathaway and Gray Riders, Before My Time, but he's also in a couple different Neil Young tribute bands. What are you going to do for us?
I'm going to do Old Man.
Okay.
And I've been doing this song every show for the last, at least the last 5 years with Sugar Mountain. And I always dedicate it to my dad.
There you go.
So, because he told me that I played it for him once, and he never lied to me. If I stunk, he told me, you stunk. But when I did this for him, he said, you did that good.
Were there anybody else in your family that, I mean, or musicians or musical? How did you start playing?
Well, I only have one brother, and he was a good drummer, actually. And but he also plays guitar, but he doesn't do anything with it. Okay. I don't think he's not in any bands or anything. We fooled when we were younger. We messed around with a couple little things, but no, he didn't stick with it. But no, just me. My mom could sing. Dad, if it was up to him, I'd be listening to martial music, military, fife and drums. We go
Theme from Hogan's
we
Heroes.
go to Williamsburg every summer, or Gettysburg, anything with a burg on it. The end of it.
There
that
you
had
go.
war.
Or a fort in
Yeah,
front of it.
he was a history buff, but I learned a lot about honesty from him anyway. So. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life. 24 and there's so much more. Live alone in a paradise that makes me think of two. Love lost such a cost. Give me things that don't get lost, like a coin that won't get tossed, rolling on to you. Oh man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. I wouldn't look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Lullabies, look in your eyes, run around the same old town. Doesn't mean that much to me, to mean that much to you. I've been first and last, look at how the time goes fast. But I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you. Oh man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. I need someone to love me the whole day through. I wouldn't look in my eyes and you can tell that's true. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Nice.
You are so him.
Thank you.
John Hathaway.
Well,
doing-
there's the authenticity for
Now,
you.
do you ever do an
exactly.
acoustic set with the tribute, or
With Sugar Mountain, yeah, I do one or two between the first and second sets, and
with
just to-
Decade? No.
I have.
Okay.
It depends on the show. Sometimes it's just I have to because it might be a song we're doing where it's a solo tune and and the band takes a break for one song or something. But I don't do it a lot. And in fact, I've even
That surprises me because acoustic is so much a part of Neil Young.
I know. I just again we're all there because we all worked hard. And again, I don't necessarily need just put the spotlight on me for this song. If I do a solo show, there's enough of it with that. I don't like to make my band sit down.
Okay.
And they're there. We're all here. We're all here for one reason, and nobody should necessarily have to sit down for too long.
Right.
And
That's admirable, John.
once in a while.
That's admirable. Well, you're going to be at the Lizzie Rose Music Room on August 23rd,
Yes,
7:30. Tickets are on the Lizzie Rose Music site, right?
absolutely. I don't think you can get them anywhere
He doesn't
else.
exactly, right? There's one of the things that could happen,
Yeah,
but
there's no there's no Ticketmaster for the
right, you can't even sell them through your site, correct? Which is what are your sites again?
GrayRidersNJ.com with Gray with an E and DecadeNJ.com. But yeah, I don't sell tickets on my sites because I just don't want to get into it. It's a whole other thing that I don't even have the capacity. I don't even have a laptop. Never mind. I do everything from my phone. So yeah, there's somebody asked me for a PDF file. I'm like, what? So yeah.
Yeah, they're not easy
I'm
to
still-
create on the
Yeah.
phone.
I
had that
used to
experience.
do more, but that kind of went away when the laptop went away. And
That's freer though.
yeah. I don't miss it.
Once again, John Hathaway and Gray Riders before my time. This will definitely find its way into the Rock on Radio Indie Hour.
Nice.
And you have a
Which-
few stories to cut into it too.
I do. And there's also a new Indie Hour up, which
Penguin Rocks.
will be on Radio Garden State next week. And it's on the Penguin Rocks right now, and it's on Mixcloud.com/The Penguin. Well, John, thank you, man.
Thank
for
you,
making
Danny.
the trip.
Claire, it's a pleasure. And
Hey,
And best of luck with the album and Decade and Sugar Mountain.
thank you. And I will stay in touch.
yay!
Fantastic.
definitely
I
do.
hope so.
Yes.
I hope so. I hope you have better luck calling us than Casey Wayne did.
Hopefully, I know how to use my phone. So
Yeah.
All right. Next week we have Helen
Swirsky.
O'Shea and Mark Swirsky,
Yep.
maybe more
Okay.
attending.
Woo.
All right. So
Be a party.
until next week, Rocco!